Oh, there I am. Good morning, VIPs. How you doing? Pre-market prep. Man, we've had awesome shows like 4 days in a row. Let's see if we can nail it again. Let's start with SPY QQQ because they're up here ahead of FOMC tomorrow. Okay, that's a really good sign. Look, as SPY is breaking above its resistance level here from yesterday, right? Really good sign above the 50 DMA. Let's see where QQQ is. Okay, QQQ looks like it definitely wants to tag the 50 DMA. That looks like a magnet right now. Now, anything obviously can happen tomorrow when we get the FOMC meeting, and then we have CPI data next week. Also, I want to point out, well, actually, let's look at TLT first. This is a really good sign for risk assets. So this means the lower interest rates. So TLT higher, good for ARKK. That's why you're seeing a big jump here in ARKK 2.8% up, but that could all change tomorrow after we get the commentary. Also want to note here, and we'll look at the technicals a little more in just a second on SPY QQQ, but want to point out that wheat and energy companies unaffected. There are two stories we were looking at last night that we thought we want to track just in case, with Putin saying, hey, the blockage or the stoppage of the cooperation with Ukraine for wheat exports is only like temporary or something like that, he said. And then they're talking about windfall profit taxes for energy companies. So neither of those having an impact. So I don't think we need to worry about those today. Just going back, let's look at some support and resistance levels here. I almost hesitate to do this because we have the event tomorrow, right? We have FOMC tomorrow, and then like all bets are off. But the major moving averages you could see here, 383. The downside is your support, and if that breaks, 373 down to the 20 DMA is next. And then to the upside, you have 409, which matches nicely with this peak candle right here on September 12th. So pretty neat lines over there that look pretty reliable to me. And QQQ, again, the downside there at 273. I don't think we have to worry about that today. I think this is downside is what happens tomorrow if people don't like what Powell says out of the FOMC meeting. So things are, I think, pretty stable for some trading today. Let's go into some news. First up, I have INVE. I actually only have a small position in this. This is one of my favorite stocks, actually. I've just been allocated out of it for several months now, and I actually want back in. They have earnings tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to get back in because actually I'm like fully allocated now and have to make some changes. But IDENIV have earnings tomorrow, and they've had a couple big PRs. One this morning again. So IDENIV receives initial order from Internet of Things pioneer Willet for 25 million units. And if you look at this, it's talking about that this is just the start, and there's going to be significant expansion coming up over here. They talk about significantly beyond this initial purchase. Was mentioned like twice in there. So that seems like pretty good news. And then obviously the cannabis deal recently, which looked, good for sentiment at least. This is a really good company with growing revenues. The problem is that they don't have strong earnings yet. They just teeter every quarter. It's like a little bit above or below break even. They're basically treading at break even for several quarters now. So it's not like it hasn't yet been a story of strong earnings growth in this name. And I think that's why you see the stock down from $28 and not back up near its highs like we see a lot of cash flow positive companies are. Okay, so will that change tomorrow? Maybe. So I may be willing to take a risk on this into earnings. I think revenue growth is going to be good. The question is, again, can they turn that into sustained earnings growth? So we'll have to see. May take a risk into that, into earnings, but a solid company, I believe, long term. Management's been very good there. VTSI, a little bit of bad news. A CFO is out again. It's like the second or third CFO that's out. That came out last night, but also yesterday, earnings coming up November 14th. Man, I've had a hard time getting on the same page with Bob Givens and Bob, or John Givens and Bob Ferris to get this Zoom for us. We almost had a date that didn't work out, and they're really busy. But at least they're communicating with me, so I think they're trying to get something. So I'm trying to get them for a Zoom at this point since earnings are announced. It probably have to be after earnings, but the earnings date is announced, so I'm working on that. But yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see some pressure on the stock today because that CFO leaving. BCRX, VIP pick, I think, yes. So we had a presentation on out with earnings this morning. That's concerning because Orladeo sales seem to be flat. So, not a great chart here, to be honest with you. And I don't have a good read on where support is. I guess right here. I guess we're right at it. See that? Right before that gap. So we're kind of right at support. And you really don't want to drop below 12, honestly. So 12, yeah, if you drop below 12, it could be trouble. But I guess you got to listen to the conference call. So there's lots of commentary on this in the VIP trading room. Several people who follow the stock, and there are some questions about Orladeo sales and some other programs. So I guess tune into that conference call to get a better read on that. But $12, if it holds, maybe it bounces. But to me, this is almost like an M pattern, right? Like a topping M pattern here at $12. So technically it could be concerning, but we don't look only at technicals. We're also looking at fundamentals. Unfortunately, I don't have a great read on the fundamentals to tell you if it's going to hold 12 or not, but 12 is a major support level there for BCRX. Now, SOFI, also a VIP pick by Akil in our community. This one apparently had great earnings, a big earnings beat. A lot of people on social media, all big FinTwit influencer accounts I follow, all I'm getting is, wow, SoFi, amazing. Everyone's really excited. Technically, it's in this big gap. It's right at a resistance level right now. You could see it. Candle on September 15th. Well, it was 665, pretty close to it, 644. But also, interestingly, look at that 50 DMA. This stock really has honored that 50 DMA. Resistance, 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 3 touch points, resistance, resistance. Man, 6, 7, 8 times that the 50 DMA almost to the penny was resistance. Now it's gapping above. So that's a good sign for possible swing trade continuation, possibly the 200 DMA of 747 in time. But again, I'm not an expert on the fundamentals on this, so I don't have enough confidence to tell you if it will definitely move there. There was one false breakout over the 50 DMA right here, so not necessarily do you always get to the next major moving average if you break over that 50 DMA. The sentiment is really positive on this report on social media. If you're really into trading this, one possibility I would look at is to see if we could kind of fill this gap to some extent or find a pre-market support level, because pre-market, less liquid, not as efficient, and you could see a lot of retail buying interest, which is kind of pushing it up and getting ahead of its skis a little bit. So you could see a morning sell-off you see a support level here at 613. Can you get lucky and get it at like 575, or I would say more, like 575 would be awesome. So like 613, psychological level 6, 575. If those pull back to those levels, I have a feeling you'll get a nice kind of V-shaped move in the afternoon, and that'll be a great day trade. So that's something to look at. But depending on how strong the earnings report is, it's also possible you gap and run towards 750 within a few days, or who knows, maybe even today. It is highly shorted. Okay, 12.5% short, so it's possible you get a short squeeze all the way to 744. So those are the levels to look at for SoFi. GLNG, natural gas play from Matt in our community, which I'm holding. I love the chart here for a swing. This was based on the explosion of the gas pipeline coming out of Russia to Ukraine and some extra business they may get out of that. That was a sentiment around that. But Matt is this morning in the room, VIP trading room, put out some speculation about some sort of big deal that they may get beyond what was baked in to the stock, which is going around on social media. I don't know where he got that from, that speculation. But you can see the stock is up this morning, relatively light volume. But this is a really nice chart, and I think it's positioned to continue. So I do own this in my IRA, and I'm looking forward to hopefully breaking out to above $30 at 52-week high within time. So last week we won the Wolf Financial Spaces Trade of the Week competition among like many top traders. We did awesome. We had 2 picks. It was Clearfield up 11.5% and XXII up 11%. So this week, trying to go for 2 in a row, we picked SIGA and COMM. SIGA, thank you for Joseph Levy for reminding me about SIGA. I think I've told you the thesis on this, but I think shorts have overplayed their hand here. Earnings are on Thursday. I don't think they understand the fundamental story. The RSI is low here at $38. I think you're going to see shorts be surprised with the earnings report on Thursday. Probably see dividends and buybacks and looking for a move to at least 1063. So put that in for a trade of the week for SIGA. Then COMM, we have earnings as well on SIGA. I'm just thinking we're going to see translation from the CalX report, which is really good, plus 200-week moving average, right? Ooh, where is it? Where's my 200-week moving average? Okay, it's more clear on the. Let me switch to weekly on the year. There it is. Okay, now above that 200-week moving average is another thing. That between that and sector strength, I'm thinking COMM can be. I'm a little bit worried that 40% of their business is international, so maybe not as good as a read-through from their peers, and also worried a little bit about Forex impact. So nothing is a guarantee, but I like that it's over the 200-week moving average. I like the sector, earnings Thursday. So those are the two picks. And by the way, COMM above the 200-week moving average, this is not something I'm looking for like just $1. Like this is something that could move maybe for several weeks or quarters if the fundamentals are good, right? If the earnings are good on Thursday. So those are the two VIP picks. I was close to also picking BTU. I couldn't. I only had to pick two. That actually helped. Had the panel on Wolf Financial Spaces help me decide between BTU and COMM. So we quickly did some analysis and we chose COMM together over BTU. But BTU also has earnings on Thursday, and its peer call, peer Arch, did very good last week. You can see, and it's had a continuation after earnings. So just a we know the thesis on energy being high and coal prices being high, and natural gas in Europe causing more coal imports. That's a thesis there. So I feel pretty good about holding BTU into earnings. Again, thank you, Matt S., for that idea. Matt is. All right, want to point out FREY, some strong early morning pre-market action. We've seen this many times, and it's always meant something. Okay, there's something out there. Some analyst initiation, analyst upgrade. Yesterday, there was a new analyst coming on board, but I don't have a price target from Cohen. If someone has a Cohen report, let us know what their price target is. But this is something that when you see the strong pre-market action, you can probably get a buying opportunity. Thing's probably going to dip down, maybe close to break even, maybe 1350 if you get lucky, or the pre-market support there. Well, it's near 1350. I would say 1350 to 1357, and then you'll see strong action in the afternoon. I've seen this pattern many, many times with FREY, so that's a possibility to look into for a trade as well. I own this long-term in my IRA. All right, so I got into a little trouble yesterday with ACTG and LLAP. Had some great trades in the morning. Sold at some good numbers. I don't think I sold all. Oh, I did sell all of LLAP in the morning, but not all of ACTG. But then I bought both of them back, so I'm in a little bit of hot water right now. I did buy ACTG back. What I sold in the 420s and 430s, I bought it back at 415, 417. I want to hear what the bear thesis is. I'm waiting for Matt Kolb to see what he thinks the bear thesis could be. I'm disappointed it went below the 50 DMA, so I don't love that, and I'm hoping I can escape out of this soon. We'll see. But 525 is the offering, the rights offering. So yeah, I guess it could get a 525 first quarter of 2023. The question is, you have to wait for that, right? And what are your opportunity costs by waiting for that? And maybe some people think they have a better opportunity with their money. This may have been just a sell the news event. It may have been, look at this heavy volume here on 1021. So people who maybe got an inside, I bet you that's what happened, by the way. October 21st is probably when insiders kind of knew or whispered that this deal is happening by the deadline, and they probably just sold the news. That's a big gain for them in this market, right? Close of 377, open of 358, and then they get to sell in the fours. I think that's what happened. So I'm hoping after those catalyst traders are out of here, we can resume the upward move towards 525, but definitely did not turn out the way I wanted. LLAP, in a way worse for me, in a way better. I mean, the better thing is I sold everything in the morning after a great massive percentage gain early in the morning, but it was not big size. I ended up going big size at 275, so I'm down some 13 cents, so which I'm not happy about because that was with my day trade buying power, which has me in a little bit of hot water today. So I have to figure out, hopefully, how to get out of this one soon, or I reallocate some stuff to hold on to this to see the bounce back. I will let you know that there was an insider sale yesterday, not by an executive, but by a 10% holder that they own, millions of shares. All right. They sold like 300,000 shares yesterday at 309. So really a minuscule portion of their shares. I guess that owner, 10% owner, outside owner, non-executive, is taking advantage and doing a little trading around the core, is what it looks like on the news of Lockheed Martin deal. So I'm hoping that this Lockheed Martin deal, the sentiment is strong enough to send this up today above 275 or near it at least. But you can see it's kind of found support here at this level. It really depends what the terms of the deal are. Hopefully the terms of the deal are not terrible and you don't have institutions who know what the terms are, who are out there shorting it ahead of the terms of the deal being announced. That may be happening, so I'm a little worried about this. I really didn't intend on holding this. That was meant to be a day trade, so I'm a little bit of hot water. I got to figure out how to get out of that. Okay, rum, very strong here. I haven't sold any shares in the last couple of days. The stock is very strong. I'm thinking 1350 is really the next resistance level. RSI relatively low, although it's hard to get a read on this because you don't have a lot of data yet on the technicals here. But look at this. Multiple rejections at 1369, 1364, 1353. So I think you're close enough when you're up at this level that you're going to retest that again in the mid 13s. So pretty strong this morning here. And I still have a nice, 1270. Maybe they tweeted something. Maybe they're always tweeting something. There's always stuff going on. Exciting company. So in any case, 1350-ish, I'm probably going to sell some, or maybe some of my warrants at that point. Okay, so we'll see. Definitely going to hold a nice amount though. Selling, trading around the core, because this can definitely go into the 15 plus range on the right news. So 1350, I'll take some off the table as we approach it. Okay. Let's see what else we got yesterday. We looked at some of the fertilizer stocks. They kind of disappointed yesterday. I'm not in them. I tried IPI yesterday. It didn't work out for me. NTR has the strongest chart on that. All-time highs. I've been calling it since the earnings report. It's coming. I don't know when it's coming. Today, tomorrow, next week, it's coming. All-time highs are coming for ADM. The earnings report just too strong. The sentiment in the sector too strong. LNN, same thing. Strong earnings report. Not as cheap as ADM, but that's also had an all-time highs. These are just awesome stocks to hold. Ooh, what's going on with ANDE? We picked up yesterday. Still hold that. That's not a real representation. That's just a paint job at the ask. So ANDE, that's a food company because of the higher wheat prices on Monday, although it's now down this morning. Was it? No, wheat was no. I'm sorry. Wheat was stable. I'm sorry about that. So wheat is still good. So hopefully we get follow through on ANDE. Spartan Nash, man, I really like this one. And unfortunately, I didn't hold it overnight. I'd like to find a way to get back in because this has like 11 days to cover, something like that. It's highly shorted and it's in the food industry and they're making a lot of money and the chart is awesome and they have earnings next week. I mean, these ag companies, they're all like, this is the new, like tech sector. Like this is the exciting sector is the ag companies. I mean, they're all exploding to new highs, and I think it's going to continue for a while. And the same thing with Deere and Caterpillar and TSCO and TWI. These are all great companies. And CNHI, great companies to hold, great companies to trade. I will say, though, AGCO didn't have a blowout report. This is a agriculture company. I didn't see here anything that would justify like people getting excited and blowing this out to all-time highs. It was basically in line rather than the big beats we've seen with other agriculture companies. You might want to take a look at that report for some commentary to see if there's any read-throughs on the agriculture sector or if it's company specific for AGCO. All right, that's all I had planned to talk about. I know Chris is still very bullish on CLFD. He thinks that has immediate upside. So do I. I think that's going to be, that has earnings coming up soon, and we're looking for a beat on that, and maybe, who knows, move into the 150s. Disappointed on Drio. Man, I gotta, you know what? I'll just close with this. Drio versus XXII. There's something like Drio, people keep waiting for news. It's not coming. I'm starting to get like upset at them with they don't know how to set expectations, right? Put that in contrast with XXII. Like the thing like Drio, they're like any day, right? Any day we're gonna get this regional health plan. Any day we're gonna get a PR release from the National Healthcare Plan, and I'm pretty sure they had a good track record of eventually things playing out, right? Drio does, but their timing sucks and their setting expectations suck. Put that in contrast with XXII management, who is carefully coordinating everything here. Like this guy gets an A+ from me, Mish, in terms of trying to do the marketing of his stock. He had the presentation several weeks ago at a conference. I forgot the name of the conference, right? Where he set expectations that, hey, within a few weeks, on or before earnings, we're gonna expand to multiple states, right? Not only did they do that, but he announced it, and I suspect that he might do this. I said it the day before, the morning of the LD Micro conference, he put the PR out, and that's exactly what he did. And then he went to the LD Micro conference, and then he set additional expectations that they're going to have more news release and some stuff right before earnings related to the expansion of their VLN, but also some big news on cannabis after earnings, right? So I have now, much more faith in Mish following through on his word, because this guy is clearly trying to coordinate and the price action and market the stock, and he has a good knack for it. He knows what he's doing. Very smart to put that press release out on the morning of LD. Some people call that, as a pumper. I appreciate that, an executive. I think marketing your company is a good thing. Setting expectations and doing it in the right way is a good thing. And if you can get the price stock up based on those actions to put you in a better position to raise money, I think that's a good thing. I think it's ethical. I think it's smart. So XXII, I have a lot of faith in this guy to pull through on PRs and stuff like that. At the same time, based on his agenda has laid out and the teases has put out there, I'm expecting earnings not to be great this quarter, and it makes sense because they only launched into Colorado full state, like I think at the very end of Q3. So not expecting anything big, but probably, retail looks at it, they don't get it. They're going to see the top line and, they're losing money still. Revenue didn't explode still. I'm upset, right? That's what retail is going to do. He's aware of that dynamic. He's getting these press releases out there and catalysts out there right before the earnings, and another big one right after earnings. So keep all that in mind, and you can play these events. It's starting to become a little bit predictable with XXII, which I like. So I might actually sell a little bit. Probably not going to be a great top line number, or even a bottom line number on that. Anyway, that's all I got. CVI did have earnings yesterday. You can check out Matt's commentary in our VIP trading room for that. Man, am I really over time. So let's just quickly look at our news feed this morning to see what we missed. LI Auto, I don't really follow that, but apparently they had some good news, and that's up significantly. It's been down. It's been hurt for a long time. Pepsi, some Pepsi news. Wolf lowering their price target there. Plug. All right. LLAP, maintain a buy by Canaccord Genuity. Maybe this is what I need to get out of here. Let's see. Let's see what the price target is, and then I'll let everyone go. Let's go. LLAP, we have a price. Oh, my gosh. A price target of $14, down from 17. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll continue collaborating in the community. Thanks, everyone.